Hey Bookaholics, welcome to another video. Now, if you've been watching my videos for a while, you can see in the background, my bookshelf is a little different. There's a lot more room. So today, I'm going to be doing a book unhaul. Now, there's one thing that you gotta know about me is that I am a book hoarder. I've kept books that I've had since I was in middle school. I've kept my textbooks, like not just like English textbooks. I mean actual textbooks. Those ones were never on my shelves. Those ones are in a box downstairs that I just have not dealt with because I don't even know why, because they're books, because I don't want to deal with them or some reason, but I just have not dealt with many of my textbooks. And I've also kept every single English book that I have bought to finish my English degree. I've kept every single one. I thought, oh, I'm an English major. Maybe I'll need these English books later on in life. But I have no idea why I would need them when I want to become a book publisher, not an English professor. So I'm just decided, you know what? It's time to just realize that I'm a book hoarder and get rid of some of these books. Also, I have a lot of books that I've read that I know I will never read again. I have a lot of series that I know I will never read again. Some of those series I've continued to add to them, but have not read them. So those ones are going. I have also some standalones that I enjoyed when I was in high school, but now I will never read them again. So I decided it's time to get rid of those as well. Now, just a disclaimer, I'm not saying these books are horrible, that I don't want them. There are still some great books in there, but I just don't need them anymore. So I just want to show you how many I got rid of to actually have some room on these bookshelves. We're going to start with my school books that I still had on my shelves that I don't need anymore. So let's just get right into it. Alright, so the first school books I'm getting rid of are my guidelines to essay writing. So the first one is E-Writer, a pocket reference for essay citation stuff, and also the Broadway Pocket Guide to Citation Documents. Now that I'm out of school, I really don't need these, but I kept them for so long that it's just like, it's time to go. So these are the first ones I'm getting rid of. Next book I'm getting rid of is In the Realm of Hungry Ghosts, Close Encounters with Addiction by Gabor Mate, MD. I got this for a sociology class that I ended up dropping out of, but I kept the book for some reason. It's time to just go. Next two ones are kind of textbooky. This is Room, which is a magazine that I had for an English class that focused on female writers. I really don't think I'm going to really delve into any of the other stories in this one, so it's time to go. And then this is a Feminism, Issues, and Arguments from Women and Gender Studies I took. It's a textbook. I'm never going to read it, so why am I keeping it? So these ones are also going. The next two ones I'm getting rid of is the Oxford Book of Gothic Tales, which I took for an English Gothic class, and also The Turn of Screw by Henry James. I didn't even finish it. I got to page 112. No, I don't even know if I read this. I think I was just following what the teacher was talking about, and I just didn't finish this one. But I kept it anyways. Next one that's going is A Kiss of the Fur Queen by Thomas Howey. I took this for a Canadian English class. I enjoyed it when I read it, but I really don't think I'm going to read it again, and I feel like someone else can enjoy this. So this one is also going. So the next books I am getting rid of are all from one class. So these ones were all from my Pride and Prejudice adaptation class that I took. Most of these I've read, but I will never read them again because I didn't really enjoy them the first time I read them. So I think it's just time to go. So the first one is I Capture the Castle by Dodie Smith. This one was one I did a presentation on in my class, and that's why there's so many little ticks there, but I will never read this again because I didn't really enjoy it. Another one is Palladian by Elizabeth Taylor. So this one is one that I was assigned to as well, but we didn't actually have an assignment of reading it. So I got it because it was part of my assignment, but I never read it, and I don't think I'll ever read this one, so it's also going. Next one that's going is Steampunk Darcy by Monica Fairview. This one was the worst book in that class. It was awful. I really powered through, got close to finishing it, but then I was just not liking it. I got to chapter 18. It just was not good at all. I just don't want this on my shelf anymore. So this one is also going. Next one that's going is Pemberley Shades by D.A. Bonavia Hunt. The Pride and Prejudice Gothic tale. And I don't really remember what happened in this one. I know I read it, but I don't remember what happened, and I don't see myself reading this one ever again. So this one is also going. The next one that's going is Pride and Prejudice and Zombies by Jane Austen and Seth Grahame-Smith. I really did not care for this book, and I do not really want it on my shelf anymore. It was pretty much just a Pride and Prejudice book with zombies thrown in, and I really didn't care for it. So this one is also going. Next two that are going are reading Chaucer and Middle English romances. These ones are going because I will never read them again. This one would take me so long to read because they are in Middle English. I will never read them again. Neither will I read this because I've studied Chaucer many times during my English degree, so I really don't want to look at it again. So these two are going. So the next two I'm getting rid of are from my American Lit from 1960s to early 2000s, and the two I'm getting rid of from that class are The Crying of Lot 49 by Thomas Pynchon and White Noise by Don DeLillo. I will never read these ones again. I like studying them. They were very interesting books and they really delved into postmodern stuff, but I will never read these again. So these two are going. The next three that are going are from my Gothic literature class, and these ones include The Castle of Otranto and the Mysterious Mother by Horace Walpole, Monkey Beach by Eden Robinson, and The Monk by Matthew Gregory Lewis. I will never read these ever again, so these ones are also going. Next one that's also going is from my feminist English class, and that is The Rover by Avra Ben. It's a play. It was interesting when I was reading it, but I will never read this again, so this one is also going. The next ones I'm getting rid of are from my classics class that dealt with all the written works that happened in the Greek. I don't even know what it was anymore. I just kind of blocked that class out, I think. But these ones I'm getting rid of, they're all kind of Greece stories. So the first one I'm getting rid of is Caliro and an Ephesian story by, what's his name? I don't even know. I don't know if it's the same person. But I'm getting rid of these ones. They were weird stories that I really don't want to get into ever again. Next one I'm getting rid of is the Satyricon by Patronus and the Apocalyptosis by Seneca. I think I butchered that, but I'm also getting rid of this one. I'm not even going to talk about it. It was awful. Next one I'm getting rid of is The Voyage of Argo by Apollonius of Rhodes. This is another one that I will never read again because I'm not in school anymore and I don't want to deal with classics anymore. Next one I'm getting rid of is The Aeneid by Virgil. I don't even think I finished this one. I think I was getting close and then I just kind of lost interest and then the class moved on from it, so I just never picked it up again. And I will never pick this up again, so this one is also going. The next one I'm getting rid of are A Short Guide to Writing About Film, which I took for an English film class, Bird by Bird by Anne Lamott, which I took for my real life writing class, and also Drink, which is also from a sociology class. Also getting rid of this one because I will never read it. The next five I'm getting rid of are The Portrait of a Lady by Henry James. Also didn't finish this one. I'm not a big fan of Henry James' writing, and I just could not get into it. That one is also going. Next one is also from my real life writing class, and it is Mountains Beyond Mountains by Tracy Kidder. It is a nonfiction. I just didn't really care for this one, so this one is also going. Next one is also from the real life writing, and that is They Called Me Number One by Bev Sellers. This was actually a really good book, and it is about the residential schools that happen in Canada. I really liked it when I read it, but I feel like someone else will be able to get a lot out of it as well, so I really want other people to pick up this book because it really delves into the dark past of Canada. Next one I'm getting rid of is Thunder Through My Veins by Gregory Schofield. So this is also a non-fiction book that I read in my English Canadian studies. I really did enjoy it when I read it. It has a gay character in it and a Métis in Canada, and I really enjoyed it, and I feel like someone else will be able to enjoy this as well. Next one is Purple Hibiscus by Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie. So this one I read in one of my first English classes, so I've kept this for a very long time. I really enjoyed it when I read it, and I feel like someone else can get a lot out of it as well, but I know I will never read this again, so this one is also going. The last 5 English books I'm getting rid of are all of my anthologies. So the first one is Shakespeare's Tragedy anthology. I really don't think I want to read this again. I don't want to read any of I really do enjoy Shakespeare, but I like studying it, and I will never go out of my way to study a Shakespeare play without it being for school. So I am getting rid of Shakespeare's Tragedies. Next one I'm getting rid of is Feminist Literary Theory and Criticism anthology, which has a lot of female writers talking about what they wrote, or female writers talking about other female writers. So that is what this one includes, and I will never read this again. I really enjoyed the class that I had this in, but I won't read this for pleasure ever, so this one is also going. Next one that's going is the Norton Anthology American Literature from 1865 to 1914. I will never read this without it being for school, so I'm also getting rid of this one. Next one I'm getting rid of is the Norton Anthology English Literature Volume 2. This is for one of my year-round classes that I took. I really like the canon English class, but I will never read this on my own. Next one is a part of that as well. This is the Norton Anthology English Literature Volume 1, and this was a part of this one. It was in a package, and I will never read them. Now, for most of my English readings, I'm going to try to sell them because they are textbooks, and a lot of people can get out of this because textbooks are expensive, and I would really like to help other students get these books for cheaper because school is expensive and it shouldn't be added on to that with textbooks. So that was all of my English books and all my school books that I'm getting rid of that I really don't need anymore. Now we're going to my standalone books that I really don't need. So let's just get right into it. So the first book I'm getting rid of is Between by Jessica Warman. So I did like this book when I first read it. It was in high school. I don't know when in high school. I think it was grade 10 or 11. And I enjoyed it then, but I don't see myself reading this one again. I'm getting rid of this one. I don't know if I'm going to be put in a library or if I'm going to bring it to Valley Village or what I'm going to do with it, but I'll figure it out. But this is the first standalone I'm getting rid of. The next kind of standalone, but it's actually 3 books in one, is Remember Me by Christopher Pike. This one includes Remember Me, The Return, and The Last Story, so it's a whole series in one bind book. I'm getting rid of this one. I read this also kind of in the same time that I read Between. They are both about a girl who dies and she kind of looks at how the living goes because she was murdered, and it kind of just goes to that revenge stage, finding someone who's also dead and kind of getting, not over it, but kind of moving on. Next book I'm getting rid of is Fan Art by Sarah Tregay. So I got this kind of the same time I got Fangirl. So I found Fan Art. I was like, it's gonna be another cute one. And it was kind of cute, but it didn't stick with me like Fangirl did. And I feel like maybe I was just too old for this because this was still in high school rather than going to college. like Fangirl is, and this one was kind of immature a little bit, so I just didn't get out of it as much as maybe a high schooler could, so I'm getting rid of this one as well. Next one I'm getting rid of is One Night Stand by Cindy Kirk. I read this and it was kind of just a fun read, but it didn't really stick with me like some of my other non-young adult books that are kind of just like fun romantic read. I really don't see myself reading this one again. Next one I'm getting rid of is Streams in the Desert by L.B. Cowman. I never read this. I got this as a present from my aunt, who is very religious, and this one's a religious book. I'm just not. Didn't really see myself reading this, and I've kept it on my shelf for a long time, and it's just time to get rid of it. Next two books are from my middle school days. The first one is The Secret Language of Girls by Frances O'Rourke Dowell. I will never read this again, so this one is going. Next one is The Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants by Anne Brashars. I read it once. I actually like the movie better because I watched the movie first, and I kind of got attached to that, and then this one was different, and I just didn't like it. So these two are going because I will never read these ones again. So the next ones I'm getting rid of are all my series. So I'm just going to present them in a bulk because presenting each book individually would take way too long and it just makes no sense to do that. So let's just get started. So the first series I'm getting rid of are the Immortal series by Alison Noel. I enjoyed this when I first read them in high school, and I read all of them, but I really don't see myself reading these ever again. So I'm getting rid of the Immortal series by Alison Noel. The next series I'm getting rid of are the House of Night series by PC Cass and Kristen Cass. I have most of them. I think I'm just missing one, but I started this when I was in high school, when I was still in the Twilight phase, and I love vampires, so I got this series. I enjoyed them while they were there, but I kind of just lost the need to read these, but I kept buying them. I really have no desire to start from here to remember what all happened. So these ones are also going because I feel like someone else can get a lot more out of this than I can. And this is so heavy, oh my god. The next series I'm getting rid of is Strange Angels by Lily St. Croix. So I also got this in that kind of stage when I was all into vampires and werewolves and all that fun stuff, but I'm really not in that stage anymore. The only kind of ones I like are the Cassandra Clares right now. So these ones are also going. Hopefully someone will be able to get more out of this than I can at this moment. The next series I'm getting rid of is the Need series by Carrie Jones. One reason I've been keeping this series for so long is because it's just so pretty. They're just so pretty. But like, I liked the first book and I did like these ones a little bit. Like, it's how I liked these books kind of went down as the series continued, and I really just did not care for it once a year came. And I will never read these again. The only reason I've been keeping them is because they're so pretty and I like them, but it's time to go. The next ones that are going are also vampire books that I will never read again, and that's the Night World by L.J. Smith. I will never read these again. The next ones I'm getting rid of is the Elixir series by Hilary Duff. I really like the first cover of her first book, but then they kind of just went down from there. It was kind of like the Immortal series, this one. It was just so simple, and I kind of enjoyed reading it. Like, it was entertaining when I was reading this, but I will never read them again. So it's time to go and say goodbye. Next one I'm getting rid of is the Wake trilogy by Lisa McMahon. I will never read these again. So these ones are going. The next trilogy I'm getting rid of is The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo by Stieg Larsson. I read these and I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the mystery kind of stuff that went on, but I will never read these again. And they're not even matching. Like, these are like pocket books and then hardcover. It's time to go. The last series I'm getting rid of is the Morganville Vampire series. So the first 4 are bind up of 2 books. The next ones are all just one book. This is also my stage of vampires. I will never read them. I think I read most of them besides this one. I think I only got to like page 45 in the last one, and that was a stage where I was like, I really don't care for this series and vampires anymore. I just didn't read it, and I believe the series is still going, but I really don't care about it, and I don't care to read this all over just get back into it, and I will never get back into it. So these ones are also going. Someone else will definitely enjoy these more than I can right now. And that's all, folks. That is all the books I am unhauling today.
I have so much more room on my shelves, and I am so excited for that. I can have more books. Which I don't need more books. No, I need more books.
But yeah, that is all the books I'm unhauling. Thank God I don't need them anymore. So I'm just happy to have made the decision to do it, because if I didn't, they would still be on these shelves. That is it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. I feel so relieved that I finally just did it. It feels so much better. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Comment down below the books that you have got rid of this last year, what books you've added to your collection, and just how good it felt to get rid of the books you will never read again, to add books that you will. Subscribe if you haven't yet. Check out my other social media accounts, my Facebook, Twitter, and Goodreads. I make a video every Thursday, and I'll see you guys next video. Bye!